right, Butch? What you got over there? Saw you grab something.
I did. I grabbed this from my desk. It's me with my first grandson, Liam. It's one of my favorite things on my desk.
That is awesome.
Yep.
Want to see what I got?
I do.
So we grabbed some things from our office that are our favorite things. So this is from my office, and it's 1,000 homes for Nicaragua. I need to replace it with Honduras now, but it reminds me why we do what we do.
Yes,
That's
that is a
good.
good reminder.
So yeah.
Did you see what Ken got from his office?
Oh, wow.
I'm not showing you yet.
What?
I'm not showing you yet.
You're going to make us, like, wait?
Yeah.
You're going to keep us?
You told me I have to have
On
a
the
hook,
hook?
so we're going to keep. You're going to stay on the hook.
Is it a picture of me?
No.
Anyway, well, I guess we'll see at the end. You might want to stick around and watch.
You just never
Anyway,
know.
welcome to Coffee with Ken. We're so glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. I am Dr. Harper Brown, Executive Vice President of Coaching. Here is Ken Brown,
That's
CEO
me.
of Destiny Global, and Butch McCracken, who is General Manager.
Yes, he is
And,
all day.
We, every week have Coffee with Ken so we can talk about different things that we, talk about for the week. And this week we're talking about, what are some of our favorite things. And really, why are we talking about that? Because really putting our best foot forward with what are the things that bring us joy.
Yeah.
I've got mine right here. I'll show you in a second.
But how do we put our best foot forward, and what are the things that we need to do to create our next steps, our first steps?
Well, how we start off our events, First Steps to Success, is with working through. Actually, we talk about 98 and 2%. Then we go into vision. Carmen walks through that, and then we get to
mindset.
It's mindset. It is mindset.
2% is
Yes.
so much about mindset and how to shift your mind to from really what you're programmed in the world. Everybody wants to get your money. How to shift from that to being a producer, from being a spender kind of
You
thing.
want to be a lender, not a borrower.
So then what are those?
The next
steps
thing we
and
work
goals?
into, it's the first thing we do is work after we really get you thinking through things and pondering, is we go into a session on forgiveness. And it's a lot
not
of
a usual thing to
No.
really focus on, especially at a business conference. I don't think I've ever seen that or heard that at a business conference. And why is that so important to
It is the one thing that will slow you down from everything, because you're holding on to things. It's a limiting when you're holding on to bitterness and anger and resentment against someone. It's constantly in the back of your mind, even though you may not even notice it. It is there. And when you come to a conference and you're really thinking through things, those that have offended you, and by the way, this happens all the time in the workplace, constantly in the workplace. And you're either going to have an office that forgives, or you're going to have an office that complains. Which one do you want?
Right.
Because you can't have both.
And people just walking around offended all the time,
Oh,
offended
you
about
hear that
everything.
all the time, right?
And
You
this
hear-
is in this day and age, literally everything offends everybody.
Yes.
It's just like,
Well, with social media and all the different things now that are constantly in your face, people love to take those things personally, even though they don't even know who did it. Is it true? But there's offense taken.
Right. It's very true. Well, when you think about what a person goes through to really get themselves in a good place mentally, first thing they have to do is recognize that they've offended people too. Right? And so working through
need
their own
forgiveness.
offenses. That's why the greatest creator actually said, forgive them their debts as we forget those who trespass against us. It's both ways, right? And working through to know that sometimes we don't even know that we've done that, but we offend someone.
yeah.
And this kind of reminds me of a person, longtime client that has worked through so much and recently been working through more, right? Been coming for years, and it's Glenn Beachy. super proud of him for
Yeah.
really sticking to things, and that's brought
Right.
healing to his wife, deeper healing. Of course, they had again
He's
going.
had to do a lot of forgiveness
You
of
think?
other people, but forgiving himself
Yes.
of like because of those. Because when we are offended, we usually go and offend.
Yes.
You hear hurt people,
Hurt
people, but
Mhm.
offended people
Offend
people.
people. It's
like
true.
it's a cycle that continues to happen because you have been hurt, and then you're not forgiving. So then you
Mhm.
do the things that don't receive forgiveness either. Again, that reaping and sowing kind of stuff.
So true.
But
Yeah.
we talk about when people talk about baggage, like I have baggage. Like, what is that? Ultimately, what is that really? When you're carrying baggage around.
It's unresolved problems. It's unresolved conflicts. It's unresolved thoughts. It's unresolved feelings. That list could be as long as your arm. It's anything that you have in your life that you have left unresolved.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It can be
powerful.
really long, especially those who haven't forgiven for a while. And it's
Right.
not just the little general forgiveness, because actually what we have learned is that there's layers to forgiveness, right? You can go through it one
it's not a
time.
once and done.
No, you have
Nope.
to work through it, especially if
This
this.
week we were actually, this month we were talking about that for Life Map. We have Life Map drops monthly.
Yes, we do.
And touching on that this
Mhm.
week from Carmen, Jackie, yourself, and I on some of those myths of forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
You do not want to miss that.
No,
That's so powerful.
it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
But even saying that, and Carmen's been teaching, she just finished a master class that she was talking about fear. And one of the things is that some people hold on to anger and things thinking that, well, if I forgive them, I'm going to. We've heard that more times than I care to mention.
Right.
And actually, that's not valid whatsoever. It's just learning to set a boundary. Like, well, if I forgive them, I have to let them back in my life. No, you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
You can forgive somebody and still keep distance.
Right.
We have learned that. Now, at first, it's very difficult. Well, I forgive you. Come here. You can be my best buddy again. And then they sock you in the nose again.
Right.
Then, and it keeps happening, right? So you go around with a bloody nose all the time. That's not cool. So
Right.
you have to realize that's not what that's about. It's actually saying, actually, I'm going to forgive you, but I'm not going to go through this again. We're going to have different boundaries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to set up different ways that we communicate.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and forgiveness
Mhm.
does not move you forward. It only resolves what was from the past.
Correct.
But unless you work through that to say how is this going to be different moving forward, so we don't continue to offend each other, that's not resolving for the future.
Well, forgiveness accelerates your results because you're not dragging everything with you. It's just like a weightlifter trying to lift new weights and they don't realize that they already have like 200 pounds on them.
Yeah.
It's so getting it off, it really helps them work through it. But
It is.
You know,
it's a very heavy.
Glenn
Yeah.
had been holding on to things, and it really started at coach training here.
Mm-hmm.
He's a coach, and a very good one, by the way, and worked through a lot of things. Obviously, coming from an Amish background and working through a lot of things and a lot of judgment,
And Karen as
and
well.
Karen, his
wife,
beloved
them
wife.
working through things.
Yes,
Mm.
they both had to work through a ton of things. But as Glenn started working through that, it started peeling things off and then allowed Karen to feel safe to do the same thing. And it has been a joy to watch them too. And as she's done it, she's said, oh my goodness, she looks like a different person, right? Just amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. We're really doing that because so much we don't realize that is literally such a heavy burden that we carry, and then we start to literally lose weight because we have carried that around with us. So.
But gives us
Yeah.
confidence to do, we can step into anything. But yeah, super proud of
Very good.
Glenn and Karen.
So good.
Yeah.
And so we want to see, we've been waiting. What is
did.
it that you had
Yes.
in your office? Oh my gosh. Do y'all know what this is? This
Oh,
the
this
Blue
is the Blue
Angels.
Angels, and we saw them last year in Pensacola. Thank you, Kristen Janina Walls. This was absolutely spectacular.
If y'all knew, like literally, this is part of how we met. Like he loves like military planes and all of that stuff. So that was a real treat to actually get signed things, and we got to meet them.
Yes,
It
we
was
did.
awesome.
We met Amanda Lee, the first female
Yeah,
Blue Angel pilot.
And she was retiring, so we
Yes.
weren't going to be able to see her again. So
She's
that
like
was
6'1" tall, by the way, but
Yeah.
she was they're
she
all
flies
hot,
like that?
yeah,
giving it the gas.
awesome. So
That's another level.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this is when you think about putting your best foot forward. Blue Angels preparation. And by the way, to get prepared, you need to be somewhere else too. You need to be
Right.
at First Steps to Success.
yes,
April 25th, her birthday, through the 27th in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
We definitely want you to be there.
Mhm.
So get your ticket. Tickets are below. Also, listen, I just mentioned about LifeMap. It's multifaceted of how to really change and put your best foots forward. Your best foots forward.
Your best foots, your best feet. Yes,
Feet.
that's
Your
good.
best
your
foot-
feet.
Your best foot forward. And you can just take a leap, just like leaps and bounds
Yep.
to come to an event, but also LifeMap. And I mentioned that. Like we regularly have LifeMap drops that's new content. And so you can go to LifeMap. We'll put that also below. Chris,
Yeah.
put it below. And
But get your hotel,
get your
please.
hotel, your
We
ticket.
have limited space, and it is selling out. And the more we can get early, the chances are we can get more of the hotel. It is a large hotel. We're going to the DoubleTree right in the downtown Albuquerque. It is beautiful. It is a superb area, and you will understand if you've never been there and you come to the event, you'll see why.
Yeah.
Right. So
Get
take a couple
immersed
extra
in
days.
it.
Yes.
Amazing trainers that just pour into you all weekend. And so, yeah, those are multifaceted ways that you can really start to just put your
Best foot.
best
Foot
feet,
forward.
Best feet
Foots
forward. Your foot,
forward.
feet. You can jump forward.
Anyway, we're so glad y'all joined us for this episode of Coffee with Ken. Thanks so much. We'll see y'all next time. Like, share, comment.
Tell everybody.
Yeah,
See you soon.
see y'all.
See you,
Have a
gang.
great
Bye.
day.